Welcome to Adventures Anonymous. We are a small production, which means episodes won't always come out on a strict schedule, and the editing may not be flawless. Thank you for bearing with us while we keep improving. Our table tends to lean more heavily into roleplay and storytelling, so while you will hear combat now and then, expect more focus on character drama, character development, and narrative exploration. Finally, this is an adult podcast. We will use strong language, explore mature themes, and include graphic description that are not suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised. If you enjoy what you hear, leaving us a 4 or 5-star review really helps us out, and we'll give you a shout out at the end of each session. Thank you, and enjoy.
The Stratos Isles are a world in the sky. They're built of shattered stone and drifting clouds, floating isles that are hung suspended in the blue. Islands are tethered by bridges, belief, and brittle custom. Some are vast and noble, home to proud houses and sky knights, and others are lawless, scarred by fire and piracy. Beneath it all swirl silver-gray mists, endless and unknowable. Folks say they swallow anything that falls, and others whisper that things lie hidden within. It's Moonstone that keeps the isles aloft and the ships flying. Light as breath and humming with a quiet power, Moonstone is the lifeblood of all skyfaring life. But everybody knows that the veins are running thinner now. Each year, fewer stones are mined, and more airships are grounded for good. And in the quiet places, strange songs drift in the wind. Some say change is coming, and others say it's already here. At the heart of civilization stands Orden's Peak, a towering island of stone that has enormous wealth, knowledge, and power. It has its own problems, just like anything. Beneath the paint, there are issues. Airships are the lifeblood there. They carry the food, water, and trade. Your story begins in the Yodun Shipway. It's a bustling hub for sailors, scavengers, and wanderers. It's a place of taverns, warehouses, where fortunes change quickly, deals are struck. On what seems like an ordinary day, fate is about to strike. Everybody, this is session 1 of the Stratos Isles, Secrets Beneath the Shattered Sky.
I'm so horny.
Okay. We zoom in on a dusty island. You can hear birds cawing, as most of them do, not unlike a Earth shipyard. But these birds are not flying above, and they're not diving into the water. They're circling around the edges and the bottom of this island. They're picking at vegetation, looking for dropped items and food. You're essentially on the Yodun Shipway is a small island. It's very dusty. Kind of the vegetation that grows is kind of mossy, tall grasses, and there's not very much that breaks up the skyline, as most of the structures here are one story. But there is, a small market, a tavern or two. Much of the landscape is dominated by large warehouses, as this is kind of a thoroughfare for trade in between the outer isles and the inner isles in Orden's Peak. If you're someone who is very well traveled, there are many such places like this, waypoints in between the island chains that all ships pass through, at least the ones that are operating legally. As we zoom in closer, you can hear kind of bustle. It's kind of hard folk, Sailors are not always the nicest of people, although there are many good sailors, many noble knights. And we zoom in on what looks like 2 green-skinned rivets sitting on what looks like kind of a dingy wooden bench that's laid out in this dust-strewn courtyard, surrounded by, seedy taverns, convenience store-looking shops, anything that, you can get a quick coin out of someone traveling to and fro, pressed up against these two travelers. Huge crowds. This place is packed. You know, airships are a premium, and getting where you're going often requires a long wait in between ship times. Coordinating all that. So, Zach and Evan, would you like to describe your characters and what they are doing there in this bustling courtyard?
My character is his name is Bob Johnson. He is a 3-foot tall ribbit. On his back is a very large pack. It's almost bursting with how full it is. You can see it's the latches on it are just barely hanging on. The seams are almost bursting. He's dressed in a darker black robe with like a light white undertunic. He's the robe kind of covers most of his body, but in one of his hands you can see that he holds a scepter, and on it is this blue orb. And he's currently looking at his sundial watch that he's picked up on one of his quests, and he's looking back at it and looking at his friend. Pio, we've got to make the air flight. We're gonna be late. We're gonna be late.
And Pio, I'm playing Pio Mungwood, about like 3'7", 3'8", like little bit taller but nothing crazier than his fellow ribbit, and he is wearing leather armor with a hood, and donned all over him you see are, like, at first glance they almost look like a bunch of little knickknacks and trinkets, but every single thing on his belt or around his neck serves a purpose. There's like something that looks like a compass, there's flint and steel for a fire, extra little water pouch. Like, he has a lot of utility just hanging off of his person, and just mucky, like worn, very dark black, grimy cloak over his green skin. Yeah, I know. Like, I hate the bustling city, and I'll never care for it.
As you're talking, like, this crowd is thick. There's people everywhere. Picture the most crowded train station you've ever been a part of, and people are bumping into you, kind of like knocking you left and knocking you right, but you notice one gentleman, slightly taller than both of you. He's kind of like a black cat looking man with gray around his mouth and whiskers. But you see him approaching from a shop that you were just in, a kind of a curiosity place. Wait, please.
What do you want? What do you want?
My assistant, Shakain apologizes for him. He was not prepared to answer your question about...
Bob is like tapping his foot and like looking around, looking at his watch, looking at you, like, let's go.
You mentioned at the thrice golden peach.
At these words, Bob comes to a standstill, and his eyes just widen, and he leans in as close as he can. How tall are you?
The cat is probably like 5 feet tall.
Okay, he looks up and just says, "What do you know about the thrice golden peach?"
Shakain has a thrice golden peach, and he reaches behind him and holds out a great looking peach.
What is this? I've never seen such a poor peach in my life. He grabs it and throws it. Spits on the ground. Pio, we must leave.
Pio, just jaw dropped, just turns and starts walking.
That was my best peach. And
it was only once golden. Once.
And he looks at Pio. Does he speak for you?
Pio's just gonna put his arm around his buddy and just hurry them along. None for us, thank you. And just walk away.
Travel is so stupid. And he like turns and starts like walking like weaving through the crowd in the direction that you just hurled his peach. Don't even bother coming in my store. And
Thank you.
Turns back,
Thank you
I
very
never
much.
wanted anything anyways. We're hurrying to where our airship is about to take off, perchance.
Okay, you know that there's essentially one large port there that all the ships come through, so you know exactly where to go. It's where you came in, presumably.
Mhm.
Yeah, as you make your way there, though, we'll pause. Further away, you guys made it about to the center of this small island. We will lead just a little bit of the ways off of the beaten path that you were on into a small tavern called the Turtle's Love. And sitting in there, there is kind of a lively tune being played, but it's not being played very well. And there, up at the bar, sitting there, you see cringing to this awful music. Carson, would you like to introduce your character?
My name is Carson Klein. I am playing the role of Ivan Divak, a Qatari, a Dune-born Qatari, who is also a bard. Troubadour bard, I should say. What you see is a cat person, specifically a sphinx cat, so a hairless cat person. Skin the color of and texture of sand, body lean and agile, covered in discolorations that you can assume are scars from small cuts all over, eyes narrow and sharp like daggers, with a yellow glow that pierces even the darkest of shadows. I wear clothes that are thin and worn, but not necessarily cheap. Think like hijab, but less layers.
Looking across from you, just across the bar, you see a very portly man. Stains on his shirt, probably one of the fatter men that you've ever seen. Hey, so do you want another drink there? Might help the music. And he kind of like nervously wrings his hands.
I just shake my head. I'll pass.
Oh, okay. Bit drink shy, eh? Listen. How did you say that you were, how you got here? Where are you going again?
I traveled many places. I've been around. I've a shantyman of sorts, traveling from ship to ship.
Oh, I mean, we could use another shantyman, like, around here, you know. You know, we could pay you a little bit.
Where are we going? I pick up my bags, so I'm ready to go.
I mean, he like looks down, like kind of at his feet, and kind of wrings his like kind of sweaty hands again. I don't know. I guess I was thinking like here. And he like he
I'm
like
sorry.
you
must
follow his
be
eyes.
confused.
You follow his eyes to like the player who's like like just doing a real bang up job. You can't be much worse than that, eh?
I think you are confused, sir. I could take the stage if this is what you're looking for. But a shantyman is no entertainer. We have purpose.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my
No.
wife always tells me I should find some purpose, yeah. But I haven't found it yet. You don't need to be boring you with all of this. And just behind, you hear the cling. You hear the ding. And just as the collective room feels like they're about to turn to this horrible musician, pause. Even deeper into the island from the port. Tall warehouses rise up around, and not very much sun makes its way into the cracks between the building. Slumped against the ground, a 30-year-old man, covered in different tattoos, but he looks well dressed, and he has a spilled purse ripped open all over the ground. There were signs of an altercation. Just a couple feet sitting away, a big bruise on his head, a bit of blood coming out of one nostril, and breathing heavily sat down against the wall, looking at the unconscious wealthy man. Levi, would you describe your character?
Yeah. Tara carries the scent of a combination of fine cologne, all added into one vial, covering up the strong stench of body odor. Covering his head, now frayed and stained, is a turban where thick tufts of long dark hair spill out in every direction. A scruffy beard clings to his jaw, uneven and shot with weary strands, hiding his sharp, elven features. A half-covered tattoo lays on his neck, partially hidden by his unkept beard. His clothes are a mismatched patchwork of fine fabrics turned ragged, the embroidered hem of a nobleman's coat here, the torn sleeve of a deckhand's tunic there, all stitched together. A once polished merchant satchel hangs at his side, its brass fittings tarnished and its leather worn to gray. The only piece of jewelry worth anything on his body is a single red wedding ring, golden and shining through the dust on his body.
Tara, looking down at this man, the bag of gold spilled out, injustice delivered. You feel a breeze that you know is not there, and hear sounds that you know are not happening in this alleyway, and you look down at your ring and see your own reflection in the stone set in it, and moving in that reflection of no act of your own. Good work.
Thank you. I look at the guy in the alley, and I stand up, and I kind of kick his coin purse closer to him. I don't take anything from it. That was mercy. It could have been a lot worse for you.
He just... And you see him, like, once he registers you're still here and talking, you see him, like flinch at your words as you get closer.
I want to look both ways down the alley. Is there anyone that's seen this?
No. You guys are deep in the warehouses. You would know that typically in the morning and evening hours when ships arrive and leave, there's a lot of bustle in the warehouses, but now midday or just after midday, it's not very busy.
As I walk away from him down through the alley to the next main street, I just want to look back at him one more time and say, "She says to be better," and then walk away.
Now all of you at the same time feel like a hum. And a moment pauses, and then in the tavern, everyone's like, "Oh, that's a little better." And out in the courtyard, you hear the crowd slow and kind of like turn their head as if searching for a direction that the sound is coming from, but it seems to be everywhere. And Tara, I imagine you are out in that crowd now as you've turned onto a main street.
Yeah.
The thoroughfare is dense. And just as the crowd seems to forget about it, just as like, it begins to be dismissed, under the two Ribbits' feet, and a huge fissure runs right underneath Bob and Pio's feet, splitting where they were standing. And Tara, from probably 50 meters away, hears a huge crack, and even in the tavern, you hear a crack, and the ground starts to shudder. And you hear like the squeals of people, like, run! And everyone starts pushing and shoving in fear. As you turn and look at the horizon, you see the shipyard in the distance, and you see to your left kind of another street that ends, and you see an entire inn drop from the edge of the island as more and more cracks start to web through the courtyard, and the shuddering grows, and the crowd is pushing Bob and Pio. You guys were getting like jostled. Instantly, Pio is knocked to the ground on top of Bob. There's screams going, and then in the tavern, You hear the faint cries start.
I think I start to like go with the direction of the people running away from it, but then like it's almost like my neck stiffens and starts to pull me in the direction of where this tremor and fissure is forming, and without much fight against it, this feeling, I am gonna bump through all the people running opposite of me, still keeping my head down, just kind of trying to tuck my arms to my face and make my way through.
Would you go ahead and make a strength roll for me?
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's a minus one to that one. First roll of.
Yeah.
And fear.
Oh shoot! I didn't even get my fear out. What's up, everyone? I'm gonna start off with the amount of fear of the party, which is 4, plus a D4.
I'm not fearful.
You're fearful. Trust me.
No.
Okay, that's a.
I have no fear.
That's a.
All right. I'm
12,
starting with 6 fear.
That's a 12 with hope. Not.
Nice.
Okay.
Bad.
DC was 10. DC was 10. So go ahead and gain a hope as you tuck your head down, arms up, kind of taking these blows. These panicked people are trying to push through you with all they can. You even hear someone like, "Why are you going the wrong way? Move!" And he tries to shove you out of the way, but you are prepared and ready, and you are able to fight the crowd back. And you make it about to the center of the courtyard, where you do see Pio and Bob laying there in a heap, having been knocked to the ground unawares.
What does this fissure look like, seeing it?
So the fissure right now is probably only about half a foot thick. It's a crack. It's not deep, but you can, in real time, see it widening. You know, Bob and Pio are kind of laying astraddle it as it starts to grow, and by now the crowd is dispersing from your current area and sprinting towards the docks.
You two, get out of there! Can you come my way?
Yes, we're gonna miss the flight. Come on, Pio, come on. And he lifts him up.
Son of a bitch! This flight! He gets yanked. Up.
What were you two doing so close to that damn thing?
Well, we were trying to make our flight. Don't you see? And he taps his watch. Yeah, we're about to miss it. But then this thing pops in, and now we're just, guys, what are we gonna do?
I don't think you're making your flight.
Why not? It's almost time for it to leave. He keeps on tapping his watch.
And I want to point towards the one port where the people are just like now jammed into.
Pio just leans over to Bob. I'm not getting on that.
He taps his foot and he's like tapping his watch. But we're gonna miss the flight. We're gonna miss the flight. And he looks at Pio like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, Pio's just staring at Tara now, just like,
how about we get on out of here, away from this thing, and I want to look for any taverns or inns that we could go into.
Yeah, we'll cut to the Turtle's Love. Oh dear. Okay, and you see the innkeeper run out. Run is a stretch. He waddles out from behind the bar. You see his shirt. It's kind of like a green olive looking shirt. Oh dear. Hey, let's get out of here. He gestures towards Yvonne, whom he doesn't know their name, and he says, "Hey, you close up the shop." And he like throws the keys on the counter, and you see him just at the base of the bar. He like kicks it and pulls a lever, and out comes a little chest and what looks like a fist-sized white pocked rock. And it has a little chain embedded into it, and you see him clip it onto his belt, and with this little tiny chest, and he's like, "She at the port, eh?" And he just bustles out the door, and as the rest of the patrons flee past you.
I'm no idiot. I'm not staying around here. I'm going to not bother closing up the shop. I'm going to head for the docks.
Yeah, you kind of exit the same way as they do, but this man is in fact taking up the whole alleyway, and there's like a press of people behind him, like pressure in a bottle, just building up as they try to squeeze him through this narrowing alley. At the very end, he's like, "Oh, wow, that tickles. Okay, and he's like, gets squeezed, and then, oh dear, I think I'm stuck." And he's like trying to wiggle, and he can't move.
By window?
Yeah, you go to the window and you unlatch it and hop through easily. It's not a big deal. As you run out the alley, you just hear kind of a, "Oh, guys, the windows! Oh my God, the windows! Everybody, the windows!" And they all start flooding out the way that you came. And you see the innkeep. "Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Okay." And you see him kind of look down, and he's like clutching his little chest. You bust out of the alley into the courtyard, and you see, while you were one of the last to come, given that you were in the tavern farther away from the noise, but you see the widening rift in the ground, and I'm going to spend a fear, because this is fun. It's fun spending a fear. And
But you don't. You don't have to.
you don't have to. But
You could not spend a fear.
Well, I'm gonna spend one as the tallest structure in the courtyard. You hear, and it starts to tip over right above 3 individuals standing right in the center of the courtyard, over top the growing fissure. Can I have the 3 of you standing under this falling building make an agility roll? Actually, I'll let you make an agility roll, DC 10, or an instinct roll, DC 15.
Fuck no, baby.
I don't think so.
19 with hope, baby.
19 with hope, cool.
16 with hope.
16 with hope.
17 with hope.
I can feel it. No, just kidding.
Oh wait,
Yvonne,
I'm not there. Yeah, I don't have to roll with anything.
You emerge leading a group of people bustling out of this tavern, just in time to see a 3-story structure that looks like a bank. They have like a wooden sign with a symbol for money hanging there. And you think they're toast, but the kind of the dust settles, and standing there looking a little bewildered, a little beleaguered, are 2 frogs and an elf. Or a man with pointy ears, at least.
Okay, got
Pio immediately like looks in his backpack laying next to him, just like flips it open, looks inside, and
Bob has his finger on his watch, but he's just like turned around looking at the building, just kind of like, oh shit.
Me and Pio pulled Bob out of there. He was busy looking at his watch. As the dust settles, I want to like look up, and do I see Yvonne?
Yeah, you see Yvonne come out of the alley. At this point, only a couple of people are left in this courtyard. The rest are running pell-mell for the docks, because if you would all know the rumors, when islands begin to shudder and shake and quake, they're not around for much longer.
I think that the moonstone might be going out. This is not good. And I look up at Yvonne. Next time a little shout to warn us the building's falling might be kind of nice.
Maybe next time I'll think about it.
Also, there's a man stuck in an alleyway behind you. And I just look back at the fat man still just squeezed into the alleyway.
At this point, he's like, and he's like wiggling, but his arms are stuck in the doorway, so they're flapping one hand with this little tiny chest and one hand just flapping his arm.
Yeah,
That looks like a man that is going to miss his flight.
I think we all might miss our flight. We might be going down today. Catman, help me pull this guy out of here, and I want to run over to the man stuck in the alley.
Yeah.
Yvonne kind of check my shoulders, and I follow.
You walk up to him, and he's like, "Oh, please, don't leave me, please."
Yeah. Mercy struck you today, and I just want to try to grab and pull as hard as I can.
I'm gonna ask for a DC 20 strength roll to pull this guy out.
Katari, could you help me? Could you help me?
I will jump through the window that I came, and I want to run into the kitchen and look for butter.
Yeah, you pop into the kitchen, and you see that this place it's pretty much all butter and grease back there, man. So
I throw some hot grease right on his back.
Whoa! It's not me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
He just squeals as none of it gets on his arms or sides.
Okay.
I take a single stick of margarine and just kind of.
Yeah, you butter him up, and I will give you advantage for buttering him up.
Okay. And that you said this was a strength.
Yeah, I'll say if you guys can roll a combined 30.
Is that both with advantage?
Yeah,
Okay.
because he's buttered. Guys, I don't know if this is part of the rules or not. I just made that up, but combined 30, you can have it.
I got a 16 with hope, so you got to get basically half of it too.
What do you do if he doesn't get out?
Okay, I rolled a 28 with hope.
What? How do you even do that?
Are they? Do you roll? Is it? How does the hope? Is it 2d12s?
Wait, so duality dice is 2d12, and advantage is 1d6,
It's a
which
d6.
means
I rolled a 12, 11, and a 6. That's -1 because of my my strength is -1.
That's crazy.
And you guys rolled with hope or fear?
I rolled with hope.
Dang, you both can have a hope. And you have enough butter on his kind of bare arms, and he just, and you hear a little squeak, and he plops out on the ground. Oh, jeez, man!
Get off of me!
Oh, I'm sorry. You roll him over off of you. Oh man, I thought I for sure dead there. Whoa. Okay.
I want to pull him up.
Name's Sal, and he like takes your hand, and you like get him to his feet.
I honestly could not care what your name is right now.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
and he just kind of, it's all the same to you. He's just waddling at full speed.
Dude, I could picture that so hard. Like just
towards the dock. He is waddling back and forth. His stained green shirt, his little white apron, he is thrown to the ground, and he's kind of sagging a little bit, his brown pants, but he is going. And you'll notice as he's waddling, this little tiny white rock that he attached to his belt, he lets go of it, and it floats and holds up his pants in the back and gives him a little boost. You see, he just speeding along.
I look at him.
Moonstones are common knowledge, right?
Yeah, completely common.
Okay.
You wouldn't do anything without him.
Katari, did that man just have a moonstone for the sole purpose of holding up his pants?
I believe that may be the purpose of that single moonstone, but he offered me earlier a ride on his ship.
Oh, well...
I'm hoping these are the keys.
Yeah, I just saved him as well, so, and I look at the two rivets. Hey, we might have a ship. You might make your flight.
Oh, good.
Pio, like, gets his backpack and is locked in on that waddling man. Like, he is not losing him in this crowd.
Don't worry, he's not getting away from us.
Yeah, you see him there's a main thoroughfare that leads right to the docks. Instantly, you see at the end of the thoroughfare, the ships are taking off. And it's probably 200 meters away. ships are lifting up, and 100 meters of that is the dirt path. 100 is docks, stairs, roped gateways and different things that navigating the skyport. You see the ship start to take off, and one last small ship, and he's waddling up to it, and you see outside there's already a crowd scrambling up the sides, kind of pulling clothing, fighting, pushing, and you see one kind of young man, instead of waiting to go up the gangway, he reaches for the rope and tries to grab rigging on the side, misses his grasp, and falls. And you hear
Wilhelm scream.
Yeah, you hear a Wilhelm scream that lasts for a minute as it fades and fades and fades and fades.
Kind of pitching, no?
Maybe we're good right here. No.
Sal, that's your ship, yes?
Oh, yep, sure is. Might be somebody else's ship though if we're not quick.
I'll push you. I'm pushing the fat man.
Yeah, you're pushing them, and you all reach the ship, and there's a big crowd. Among the crowd, you see kind of fine-clothed men and women. You see some burly-looking kind of blue-collar dock workers. You see a couple of men covered in tattoos, shirtless, with a lot of scraggly beards, and a huge assortment of people. All people intermix at a skyport.
Is the ship above the dock at all?
If you look over the edge, you'll see the pier is supported by slanted beams of wood that holds it to the mainland. And then from that pier, beside it, floating, is a skyship with a kind of plank that leads up to it. The plank is probably 3 feet wide. It's packed with people that are barely staying on the edge. But there are ropes on the side. Most of these ships, something different about skyships is normally a ship only has one, or they have multiple masts, but they all point up. On a skyship, you'll see inlaid in it, it's kind of dark, kind of dingy wood. You see at the front and back of the ship 2 large white moonstones inside the hull, keeping this afloat. And you'll see a mast that raises up and a mast that pushes down out of the deck underneath, creating kind of a double mast in front, almost like a T shape on its side. But along the sides of the hull is often ropes and rigging, because oftentimes crew members that are especially good at climbing will have to descend down to the bottom mast to fix something. So there's a lot of handholds on the sides often. And they're pushing up the gangway, and you hear Sal go, excuse me, just wanted to say this is my ship, yeah? And, well, I went on, and I'm bringing with me my friends. And he puts his hands on his hips and, cocks his head. And nobody does anything, and he looks back to you guys. I really thought that would work.
Yeah, for sure, Sal.
Excuse me? And they're like,
You're a naive fool, aren't you?
This made us crazy.
You want attention. Let me command it.
well, okay. And he blank face and looks at you.
Can I use my first feature of the campaign?
Yeah.
I'd like to use the feature Make a Scene. I will spend 3 hope to distract a target within close range.
Cool.
Hoping that you'll allow that to be, since it's not like a single person. Like treat the mob as a.
Yeah, spend the hope and go ahead.
Yeah, I spend all 3 of my hope. I have no hope. Is there a central government in this island that we know of?
You would know that skyships and shipyards often have kind of a low amount of regulatory presence. Most of that is due to a lot of the nightly power being consolidated in Orden's Peak. And so you and on this island, kind of mid-rim in the Jotun shipway, are relatively unpoliced.
I'd like to stick my pinkies, give one of those high-pitched, ear-piercing whistles, and then scream, "There are extra ships on the east side of town! They haven't left yet!"
I would like the other 3 of you to make a knowledge roll.
20 with fear.
22 with fear.
11 with hope.
No.
You all know this port. You spent some time like wandering and waiting for your next ship to come through. There is no Eastern dock.
It's not even that there's no ships there. There just is no Eastern dock.
There is no Eastern dock. But you see like the crowd, like especially those towards the back, start to like, okay, Eastern dock. Which way do we go?
East.
And he.
Sal
you
tries
see
to go
him,
with
like,
him. I grab him by the collar.
Yeah, you see like a blank look, and like you see kind of a young man and a couple of his friends, like they kind of like smirk, looking at all these people trying to get on this ship, and they start to jog east, and the crowd kind of that gives you a little bit of opening. You may be able to push through, and you see Sal go, well, I
Sal,
guess all right.
Get
then.
on the damn ship, Sal.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, hey, sorry. Hey, pardon me. My bad. That was my foot. Sorry. You stepped on me. I bet you didn't see that. And he's like, like trying to squeeze through, but he's just bodying people with his belly. He's like, old women to the side, kids to the side. He's like, oh, geez. Oh, so sorry. All right. And he gets up the gangway on the ship. And there's like a little hole that you could probably squeeze through if you guys want to follow him.
As I'm following,
Pushing
I'm
him
like
through
kind
this
of
crowd, couldn't
rummaging through my robe and my tunic, and I find my ticket that I was like I had. And as we walk on, I hold it out in front of me, like looking for the person to punch my ticket.
Sal's
with
like,
a rapier.
Stab it with the rapier thing.
Sal takes it and goes, and punches a bunch of holes in it. It says loser on it and hands it back. Just
Polar Express.
No,
I want to be like towards the back of us getting on. As we are there like a few children that I would be able to like pick up and hand to someone on the ship?
yeah, the crowd is just filled with all kinds of people. There's probably 25, 30, 40 people clustered around this small ship. The ship is probably 40 feet across, or sorry, from start to end. So it's a small ship.
Yeah, and I just want to like children first, and like pick one up and look up on the deck of the ship. Your name's Pyo, right? You're Pyo?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's anything you want. He just looks over at Bob tapping his chin with his ticket and just like, what do you need?
And I just start handing the kids to him.
Pio's just like picking him up, setting him down, and not even really giving it much more thought than that. Not like, let's try to help them find their fit. Just pick them up, set them safely down, move on.
Yeah. These kids will get up the ship, and you hear Sal just, guard, okay, all right, slow down, come on now. Eventually, the crowd starts to get on the boat, and you see, kind of almost comically, you see a wave of buildings crush, and then drop. And you see the land mass that you just got off of start to tilt away from you and slowly drop as the gap between the boat and the gangplank that was leading up starts to grow, and then the plank slips off.
I'm hopping on that boat. Fuck the other people.
You hop on.
Pio still has his arm out.
And about 100 feet behind you, you see those teenage boys, dead sprint, crying, sweating. Run, Tom, run! And they run to the edge of the gangway and leap and grab the rope. 1 catching the rope, 2 catching the rope, 3 grabbing the shirts, and then sticking his hand up right next to you, Yvonne. Please. My hands are not strong.
Long live the king. No. I try and if there's somebody close stronger next to me, I'd love to get their help. But I will try and pull them up.
Pio's not stronger, but he's still right there.
As you reach for his hand, he's reaching teary-eyed, snot down his face, running for his life. His grip falters, and his hand that he was using to hold on drops. If you can do a 20 finesse to catch this boy's hand, as you reach down, he drops. I can't hold it anymore, Tom. And drop, and you have a fraction of a second.
24.
Golly!
I rolled an
your
11 and
problem?
a 12 again.
What are you doing, dude?
This is barely even an accident or cataclysm. Everything's going perfectly.
This time with fear though. So
Yeah, okay. So you reach down and grab his wrist, and he's, oh, thank you. And he's like scrabbling his hands on there and like kicking his friends to climb up. But the effort with the fear, the effort to pull him up, go ahead and mark a stress, as he almost pulled your arm out of socket and bent it the wrong way.
Can I look at Sal and say, it's time to get out of here. I can help in any way, and I want to use my experience operator to help in any way I can to get going. Because would I know that like a small ship like this, there's definitely probably a weight limit, and if all these people get like, I know we can't save everyone, so I just want to be like, what do you need? We gotta go.
Oh, I guess the ropes, untie the ropes, and well, geez, I guess I don't know, maybe open the sails. And he like kind of looks at you for a second, like, sorry, man, this is not my boat.
I look at everyone. I think I even look at the kids, and I'm like, untie the ropes. Pyo, the sails, and I kind of want to start like directing everyone to get this ship away from the island.
Yeah, you start bustling. The deck is shoulder to shoulder almost. There's a little room to move around, but it is pretty packed.
Do these ships have like a?
So the ship,
like a wheel, a control.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they actually have two wheels. So, well, they have a wheel and a lever. So typically on a ship, turn the wheel left, right, but you can also pull up and pull down. You start pulling ropes, raising sails, and also lowering the bottom sails down. And you see like a couple other citizens like, oh, okay, and they start raising things, pulling in the gangway, and it's almost as if it's not like you start rising, but the rope is cut and the island starts to fall away. The whole ship kind of stands there in a dumbstruck awe. Sal leaning over the edge looking down as the Yodun Skyway just slowly fades down and down and down. And you see the bench where Bob and Pio were sitting in a huge fissure in the middle, crack and crumble as it slowly sinks, and it's almost like a puff. It sinks into the mist far, far below, and there's a little bit of like a little circle that happens before it is all swirls again and swallows it as if it never existed. And it is a pin drop quiet as you float there in the air and the breeze starts to move you forward.
I think about the guy that I left in that alley. I don't think there's any remorse in my eyes.
Can I gather the children? I'd like to pull out my my lute and think of the man who jumped and fell to his demise, and I'll sing a little ditty.
You should have saw this coming.
I knew it was coming. I did. The lyrics are right here. I got them ready.
Oh yeah, come on! I'm ready for some ditty.
Whoa!
Take it back! Take it back! You say I'm gonna perform a little ditty, and you see Sal like, you see his eyes go wide, and he like checks his shoulder, but he's like, oh okay. kind of weird that you gathered the children.
I- Crazy. Crazy.
You kind of set yourself up there.
Take a strum on the guitar or the lute. Oh, I bid farewell to the port and the land, and I paddle away from Babe Pavel's white sands, to search for my long ago forgotten friends, to search for the place I hear all sailors end. As the souls of the dead fill the space of my mind, I'll search without sleeping till peace I can find. I fear not the weather, I fear not the sea. I remember the fallen, do they think of me? With the bones in the ocean forever will be, but a course to the night, to a place I once see, to a place where my hope long died along with my crew. So I swallow my grief and face life's final test, to find promise of peace and the solace of rest.
You see, like, the crowd is around, like, kind of bleary-eyed, you know, a little teary, watching people, you know, fall to their doom, the island crush, and you see people kind of just, men and women alike, sitting down, kind of just misty-eyed, trying to hold it back, not wanting the kids to see. You see kind of an older man like, oh, no, it's okay, Jameson. Yeah, no, everything's fine. Yeah, why don't you? And he kind of, you see that there's like a hatch you can go into the inside of the ship a little bit. Yeah, why don't we sit in here? Yeah, we're just on our way to Orden's Peak. Yeah. And he like guides a couple of his children in there and his wife down there. And you see a couple of other people go in there, so now there's a little space on the deck to move.
Pyo, you and your frog friend, ribbit friend, come here.
Pio just slides down the ladder, what Dark Souls style, just.
Dude, what the hell were you doing up there?
Yeah, just looking.
Okay. What's your friend's name that you were with?
Bob looks at Pio. What were you looking for? Did you find something interesting up there?
Absolutely nothing but fire and brimstone. He like looks back at the still crumbling like bench and mountains and stuff. What do you need?
First off, my name's Tara. It's nice to meet you. I look at Bob. What's your name?
Bob Johnson.
Bob Johnson. And I think I look at Bob and I get like a glimpse of remembrance, but I don't like let it phase me. Where was your ticket to, Bob? Hand it to me.
He just kind of squirms, fidgets. He holds it up and shakes it. This is my ticket.
Yeah, where's it to? That's where we're going. Wherever that ticket is, that's where we're going.
It's Orden's Peak, of course.
I look so... Of course, it's Orden's Peak. Because why wouldn't it be Orden's Peak? Could have been any of the outer islands. It could have been anywhere, but yeah, Orden's Peak. Orden's Peak. And I just go back to the helm of the ship.
You can see just in the distance Orden's Peak, but Orden's Peak is not level with you. It is up in the sky at a 45-degree angle.
Okay.
You would know that while there may be one or two lesser known docks or maybe a private mooring, Orden's Peak Sky Yard is the largest sky yard ever constructed, and you in particular would be especially familiar with it.
Yeah, I'm guessing that ticket says it's ship's docking at the Sky Yard, Bob.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. Man, I'm happy. Just so happy, right? And I lean us in that direction, pulling the levers as needed to adjust the sails, adjust the rudders, and taking us that direction.
Yeah, the ship kind of lurches, and it's not really a lurch, actually. It's pretty smooth in the open air, guiding the currents. And you would know, in the Stratos Isles, the wind currents are insane. They're powerful. It is windy almost all the time, and they're also pretty chaotic. So these dual masts have a lot of reach, so you're usually able to funnel yourself in the correct direction that you want to go, though sometimes it's hard, and you pull forward. But you notice as you kind of pull the lever back that controls your your up and downward descent or ascent, you pull it all the way back to angle the nose up and go upwards,
Do we weigh too much?
and you're still sinking.
I knew this was gonna happen.
And you hear kind of a foppish looking, well combed, comb over, golden hair, nice trim, weird looking frilly doublet, standing there looking a little important. Well, go on then, pull up.
Okay. You see the lever all
You
the way.
have to pull up. We'll
see-
sink.
You see the lever all the way back.
He kind of, and he like,
Here, and I want to grab him and put him on the lever. Pull the lever back.
and he like. now that everyone's
Go
looking,
on.
he like
Go on.
he's a little sheepish.
Hey,
but he
hey,
pulls it and he's like, "Okay, fine, it's pulled."
get back.
And he like, you hear him mutter under his breath something like, "We'll all die. We can't rise. We're sinking."
Bob and Pio right there. Katari.
Mm.
Yeah,
I
great.
break from my song.
Yeah, great ditty. Come over here.
I go to him, but I don't want to.
The ship weighs too much. There's too many people on this ship. So, we're gonna need to start by throwing anything extra off the ship. Barrels,
Stop that.
barrels, boxes, crates. It's not gonna take much to get to Orden's Peak. If there's any extra food supplies, keep a little bit for the children if we have to. Everything else, off.
As you say that, you hear on the other side of the ship, "Hey, watch it. Don't get pushy." And the crowd kind of like swirls around and sees the foppish young man like looking indignant, looking up at this guy. He's looking up at a guy who's well muscled, covered in tattoos, up on his face, all over his head, and he's got kind of a thick dagger, and he looks like someone that in the Skyyard you would have just taken for a dockhand, if not for the kind of domineering glint in his eye.
I wouldn't mess with him. I wouldn't do it. I'd miss my flight. I wouldn't do it.
Pio's just still, like, not moving, like, ready, but just still.
If worse comes to worse, though, that's a lot of weight on that man.
The large
You
one or
look
the small.
around- You look on the deck. There is almost nothing. There are no things lying on the deck. No unused equipment. But you may remember that there was a hatch down and kind of a captain's room as well.
I go there. Go hatch down.
Bob
You
is going to
open
the captain's room.
Okay. You open the hatch to the underneath, and people kind of clear away, and like, and it's pretty dim, but you kind of descend the short ladder, and down there, it's mostly kind of beds, kind of built into the side of the ship. They're kind of conjoined. Maybe you could break them or something, but they are attached. You see a little bit of extra rope, replacement sail tools, and then in the back you kind of see probably 3 or 4 good-sized boxes kind of covered in what looks like a tarp. Then the tarp is emblazoned with it almost looks like a cloud with 2 knives crossed through it. And sitting there on that is kind of a bored-looking man, also covered in tattoos.
Can I wake up the bored-looking man?
Yeah, you wake him up. On the other side of this bottom place is the father and his wife, his pregnant wife with those 2 kids. They came down here to get away from, all the
Mhm.
crowd. And he wakes up and says, "What do you want?"
Do you know what's in the boxes?
I might. What's it to you?
If it's nothing of value, they're going overboard.
What if I did say it did have value? This isn't. Worked hard for these. We're not just throwing them over.
I don't think you understand numbers, my friend.
What do numbers have to do with it?
We're sinking. With too much weight on the ship.
Hey! And you hear the latch, the latch, dunk, and you see the bigger man come down. What are you doing with our boxes?
Nothing yet. I don't think you quite understand the problem, the predicament we are in. Right now, the ship weighs too much. We cannot get to Orden's Peak. We need to lose weight. I'm not talking about the fitness program, I'm talking about now. Unless there's Ozempic in those boxes, I suspect we need to get going. Some weight from the ship.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and get rid of the fatso, huh?
Don't
Work
think
hard
it's
for
going
this.
to be enough.
He's taking more than his fair share of weight. It's like 6 of him for one of us.
This feels really hurtful. He's not even here.
And he like kind of sits back against the box. Well, I'm not moving.
Is this your ship?
Might be.
Then tell me, what can we cut without losing the ship? Other than one man, that won't be enough.
Do any of you guys, I know there are probably travelers among this group. Have any of you worked a ship before?
I view it more of a less so. I think I would be a shantyman. Would be one of the like emergency shipmen.
Sure,
It's like-
everybody works when you have to.
Exactly, like in a storm or things like this.
Yeah, you would know that lining the wooden hull of all of these is often a good amount of kind of reinforcing material. So sometimes they'll use a line of iron. Sometimes they will use, lead just for weight or balance purposes. But in more military vessels, they will have even more kind of sturdy metal at the front so that they can take blows in the sky. But this one looks like it probably has a thin line of metals along the beams that you might be able to strip off.
I think we could, I don't know how much you know about the makeup of these ships, but we could strip these reinforcements and give that a shot. And then we could take the beds. And if not, we'll have to revisit. We can try this, and if it is not enough, we can revisit the boxes.
Yeah. He looks at you and he's like, do what you have to. And he like pushes the box like deeper into the corner, sits on it, and like spins the, people spin the knife on top of their hand and re-catch it. He's just doing that. Just a clear eye contact threat. This is ours. Don't try.
I don't want it. It's not for my taking. I'd rather live. And I start, I'll give him one of the whistles and get some bodies down here, start chopping, stripping the metal and the beds.
I'd say probably a couple people come down, kind of able-bodied men and women.
It's all my kids. It's all the kids that I was singing to.
They just start. No,
I've,
yeah.
I've got the shantyman songs going as we strip. We're very much the dwarves that work in the mines. Hi ho!
A quick montage as people are sitting there taking whatever they can to like hack off these bits and like pull the metal lining off of this, and pitch it overboard. In the captain quarters, you push open the door and nobody's in there, but kind of strewn across there's like a table. There's nothing really on the walls. It's a very simple room. This is not a very extravagant ship, but there is a desk, and across the desk is like a rudimentary map pointing you towards Orden's Peak, kind of highlighting the route. Kind of in any of the drawers, you don't really find a whole lot, but you find a letter to something Kavros and something Kaylin, and just a bunch of, nice looking letters. Kind of a bunch of them.
Bob walks in the room, scans, looks at the walls, just disappointment across his face. Like he realizes that he drew a short straw. There's nothing interesting in this room. But he does his due diligence and rifles through all the drawers. He finds the letters, and he just kind of like reads through them, crumples them up, reads one, crumples them up, reads one, crumples them up. Like, just really disappointed. He can't lift the desk, so he knows he's gonna have to go out there and get somebody. So he just walks out.
Pio finally takes his eyes off of Yvonne and that dude. He, like Doc Holliday with his hand on his gun, kind of like, "Hey, Bob,
Oh, P.O., good. Can you grab that desk and throw it out? Because it's way too
Absolutely not. I can't. But
heavy.
maybe together we can. And he just like goes to one side and like waits for Bob to get the other end.
Bob looks at his hands. These hands weren't made for lifting. But he walks over there and he tries to lift.
Yeah, I'll say that this is pretty. You guys together, or at least with the help of one other person, can slide this desk over to the edge of the ship, out the captain's door, and heave it, and everyone goes, "Oh!" when you toss it off, and you just watch this desk hurtle down and kind of part the mist and fade away. And
There
as
was,
you
there
throw
was a
that
ship
off,
below them.
yeah, you smash their masts and they go down. As you tip the chest off, and crew members, or not crew, they're not crew, civilians are taking iron reinforcing sheets and throwing them off the edge, tossing out any of the extra stuff. You feel what is hard to really see. It's hard to tell if you're sinking or rising at such a far distance from any point of reference. You do think you feel the boat start to rise, and you see a couple of like hanging sky fruit bundles kind of on moonstones hanging in the distance seem to get a little closer, maybe, or at least stop falling away. And just as you start to feel that, you hear Sal, "Oh, gee, hey, come on now. No, actually that's actually, that one's actually mine, yeah." And you see kind of that foppish young man with his hand on the floating moonstone around his waist. "Hey, what? I don't understand why he gets one of these. You ought to share it. You ought to attach it to the boat. You're trying. It's just not fair." And you see like a couple of other townsfolk around, like, yeah, and you see like a couple of concerned mothers kind of,
Hey,
yeah,
kid.
because you think that maybe that little moonstone would fit, perfectly on a child's belt and might be their weight.
Then do something with it. Attach it to the boat. Sal, you can get it back when we land.
I don't know. Come on, man. This is.
Sal, shut up.
And he
Attach
kind
it.
of like
Attach it to the boat.
hangs his head, and he like takes the clip, and he attaches it to the wheel, the steering wheel, and he sits next to it, and he like just kind of staggers at the thin man, or the foppish man.
Is he right beside me now by the wheel?
Yeah.
I take it
You-
off the
yeah,
I
you
take
walk
it
up-
off the wheel.
Attach it somewhere else.
I give it back to him.
Give it. Hey, that teenager had a good idea. Give it to one of the kids. See if they can put it on themselves and have them. No, they'll still be weight. Just look towards the back of the boat, near the
If they're not weight, it's almost more a problem.
towards the back of the boat, near the main back moonstone. Either make a divot with a knife or something in the wood in the frame, or find something, a railing to attach it to. Don't put it on the
Yeah.
fucking wheel because I'm turning the damn thing.
Jeez. Kind of harsh, man.
Okay. So
And he like turns, and he starts walking across the length of the deck towards. I guess you're already at sort of close to the back, so he turns and he starts walking across the remaining deck, just in time to see one of the tattooed men stick his foot out and mutter, "Weighing us all down." And I'm gonna go ahead and roll an agility roll. 15 for, we'll go 13 for Sal.
Are we all up on the captain's deck right now?
Yeah, if you'd like to be.
Bob did his
Um,
due diligence.
I put DC 13. Sal rolls a 10. This guy sticks his foot out, fatty, and this guy falls. And you would actually know that there is a little bit of jokes made towards large people, not obese people, muscular people, large people. Short, thin people are loved on sky ships. And Sal, as graceful as ever, goes down hard, drops the moonstone, and whoop, right up in the air it goes.
Can I use my ribbit?
You got
Tongue.
one chance. You got one chance.
Okay.
What's the wording? Is this like an attack roll or something?
It is an attack roll. So you can use your long tongue to grab onto things within close range. Mark a stress to use your tongue as a finesse close weapon that deals D12 physical damage using your
Okay.
proficiency.
So close range is not like 5 feet; it's more like up to 30 feet.
Okay.
So
Oh,
the
perfect.
second he drops this, you're gonna have a chance to boom and grab it. We'll say DC 12. It's a small little moonstone. It's
And
right
just
in the
attack
grass.
roll. Just use my attack roll.
Yeah, just attack roll.
16 with hope.
16 with hope.
Mm.
It flies up there, bloop, and and Bob, it's almost crazy because you don't ever expect it to be that long. But Bob tosses back his little black cloak, his little hood, and ding, and it sticks right to the moonstone orb, and you almost like you're for a second when you latch on, your body like lifts up at the mouth, and then you rock back down because you are heavier than it.
And then it comes back to me. I grab the chain and I feel like I'm sitting down on like a bench up on the captain's deck. And then I just clip it to the railing that's beside me. And I just sit there.
Jeez, oh, thanks, man. And he where he's on the ground, he just kind of gets into a sitting position and stays there.
Who made that ruckus back there?
Bob points at the large man.
The guy with the tattoos? Yeah. Hey, asshole. We don't need this. We're all just trying to survive.
Yeah, well, some of us are dragging others down a little more.
Hey, guess what? Muscle weighs more than fat. So, I don't know why you're the one blaming other people here.
Oh, yes, that's true.
And you hear the foppish man go, "Yeah, I mean, if anyone,
Okay, we don't. Hey,
we should throw this bloke off the boat."
hey, we don't. Hey, we don't need it from you either. Okay.
And you hear people behind him like, "Yeah, well, maybe I ought to throw you off the boat, huh?" Then
Hey, we
and he, like,
aren't.
steps towards
We
him.
aren't sinking anymore. We're slowly.
Listen, old timer, we didn't ask you.
I want to just for the quickest second hit the lever to the forwardmost. So for a second we all tilt forward and then raise it back up.
No, you do listen to me. This is my ship.
Go ahead
And I will actually use my
you're about to make a presence roll.
yeah, I am going from his view as I like turn and look at him after lowering the ship for a second. I will use my patron's mantle and mark a stress to cloak myself in a terrifying aspect of my patron that lasts until I take severe damage. I just want it to be like a quick vision. So you know those like paintings that as you walk around them they change?
Yeah. Yeah, like
So-
the little things you can go like this and they're different images.
Yeah, as I like turn my head, my face is like my beard is gone. It is the face of like when you see Jimin from BTS for the first time and you're like, I don't know if that's a man or a woman, but either way, I'm attracted to them. And it's just
Yeah.
like this beautiful elvish face. But as I turn,
Jimin.
like blood starts to drip out of the nose, like worms start to crawl out of the mouth and eyes, and then it like disappears as I say, "This is my ship." And
Yeah.
that will it gives me a bonus equal to my tier, so a +1 on action rolls to intimidate a target.
I'll say DC 13.
That is a 22 with fear.
Yeah, so he looks at you. You see just a flicker as he's seeing you, somewhat androgynous, man. Probably what? How old are you? Like 30-ish?
I'm right at 30. Yeah.
30. Some slightly androgynous, good-looking 30-year-old instantly turns into what he thinks is a flash of the most hideous, the most terrifying look that you give him, and you see him just You see his face go white, and he just kind of like steps back and looks around, like daring anybody to say anything else. But you definitely see him and his friend kind of looking at you, and some of the other civilians on the boat are all kind of wary of what you'll do.
I turn around back to the helm, and like just a little smile creeps across my face because I.
So the day passes. You guys spend time lightly talking, maybe even bickering. People are short tempers, but this ship very slowly. You arrive laterally to Orden's Peak long before you ever arrive vertically. And so there's this period where you are almost under it and just letting the ship rise. So it's almost like you're vertically rising to the dock. As you're approaching it, you see what looks like almost a tiered city. It's kind of a diamond profile where it's almost like a mountain or a hill, and you see at the base is a dense city. Buildings kind of tall and thin, very dense, some with pathways and balconies in between them. It looks kind of just classic medieval fantasy, but with a lot of extra rigging as people are hanging things and laundry out to dry and different kind of walkways up between buildings. Above that, you see kind of another segment of mountain, and then perched upon that, which you can't quite see as you're still rising up to that level, but looks like kind of tan homes, larger gated, decorative bushes, and you see at the very, very top kind of a lone tower perched at the top. But as you rise from the very bottom, you see what is clearly the town of Orden's Peak rising, but below it, lashed on the underside of the mountain, of the floating island, you see in the dark little firelights. As the sun is setting, you see lights come on, you see little flickers of candles and torches, and you realize with immense rigging and chains and planks and walkways, underneath the island hangs a bunch of houses and rooms that have somehow been attached to the bottom. Oh, jeez. That must be quite pretty scary, eh? Always kind of looking down at the mist like that. Always gives me a bellyache, makes me hungry. He looks around to see if anybody thought it was funny, but he does not get up. He has remained sitting ever since Bob caught his moonstone. Hey, so and he looks at Bob, and he looks at Tara, and then he turns to Pio. So, think I could have my moonstone back soon?
Pio looks up and seeing little bit. Don't worry about it.
Maybe you could ask him for me, eh?
Honestly, if we give him his moonstone back, it's not gonna matter. It's still making him way lighter.
Pio's gonna just look over at Bob. Are you still near it?
Yeah, I'm just sitting there chilling. I'm reading my notebook, flipping through some pages.
If he feels like getting it for you again, you can have it back.
Bob snaps his head to look at Sal, blinks one eye, blinks the other, and then he beckons him over with the finger.
He you're only a few feet away, so he just kind of crawls a little bit forward. So,
are you going to shut up?
Sorry.
He unclips it and then clips it under his belly on his britches.
Right, the moonstone off the chain is hanging right in front of his face, and he's like, "Oh, thanks, geez. Oh, that's really real generous of you, sir." Okay, and
Sal.
he just rolls back away a little bit.
Sal, I apologize if I was a dick earlier.
I don't know if I would be saying that you was or wasn't a dick, sir. Whatever you think is fine. And he just kind of...
I still think you talk a little too much.
You're the captain, eh?
Okay.
and you see him like kind of like start to lean away, and like as you're now rising up to dock level, and he's like, man, I don't know, I guess I sure am grateful for what you did for me. Could have been stuck there in the doorway there. So, and you see him like, and lift up this little tiny chest, and he reaches in. Well, and if you leaned a little closer, you could see that he has just a handful of gold in there. I guess, well, you can have it. And he like takes the gold out and like holds it to you in his fist.
I want to like take it and push it back in his hands. How about you do something else for me, Sal? And I want to bring him over and tell him exactly how to dock this ship, and tell him that there should be dock hands that will help. And when I do, I want to kind of go back with Pio, Yvonne, and Bob, and just like I kind of sit down, put my turban a little bit lower towards my eyes, and just sit like I am one of the passengers here.
Sure, guess I can do that. I can be a captain.
You're the captain.
Captain Sal.
Captain Sal.
Captain Sal. And he like clicks his little chest shut, clips it on his belt, and he waddles up to the wheel and starts turning it very badly. You like scrape the dock. You see like guards on the top like, hey, and but he's like, and he eventually like he's sitting there like trying to get the lever right to see if they're like still or not. It's like, hey, in a very meek voice, hey, can we put the sails down? Hey, it's time to dock, eh? We kind of we gotta stop now, guys. And like, you see like one or two people is like, and they just start putting the sails down, and you manage to stop. You see emblazoned on a big sign that you can see once you reach dock height, Orden's Peak Sky Yard. You see like a massive wooden dock, scaffolding extending outward, kind of like a pier like there was at the other Sky Yard. They're supported by what looks like steel beams, extremely sturdy and well kept, thick ropes anchoring into the mountain stone. You smell tar, freshly cut songwood, and kind of forged metalwork as they make the different fittings and things for the boats. Alongside you, you realize how out of place you are, because this little tiny dingy boat is moored next to very sleek, expensive ships, as well as ships that look to be burnt and smashed and hit with ballista. So whether they're gleaming or charred, humongous ships line the way. And there's people hustling and bustling, and dockworks and boxes moving. And over like the talking of people, you hear a constant groan of rigging. Just ropes everywhere. Ropes to climb and slide down, hold things, attach things everywhere. And one guard kind of approaches a customs officer, as you can see kind of labeled on his vest. Hello, more refugees, huh? It's like the 30th ship today. And he like bumps his buddy. He's like, dude, you owe me 5 gold. Who's the captain here? You got any paperwork? And you hear Sal. But Sal kind of like looks over, and he looks at Tara, who's sitting like head down, turban low.
I want to look at Bob and just whisper, tell them it's the tattooed man's boat.
Bob stands up, walks over to the side of the boat. This is my ticket. That is the captain. And he points right at the tattooed man.
You see him like he's just talking to some of his friends, and the officer's like, he takes a big step over the gap, which makes people gasp, but it's clear that he does this all the time. He takes a step over the gap, not even looking down, and walks up to him. Excuse me, sir, paperwork. Come on, we don't have all day. And he's like, he just turns around. He's like, you talking to me? Yeah, you're the captain? It's not my ship. Who told you it was my ship? And then the custom guard's going like, well, him. And he'll point at Sal, and you'll see the tattooed man like, oh, this guy again. And he'll walk up to Sal and kind of grab his vest. Stop talking about me. You don't know me. Okay? I've had enough of your crap. And the customs officer's like, hey, guys, seriously, who's the captain? And he looks at Sal and he's like, you sure it's this guy? And I'm gonna spend a fear. And Sal's gonna go, well, I don't know. Come on, people.
Follow my lead. And I'll have the approach the guard. Do I recognize the guard, by the way? I'm fairly well traveled.
Sure, yeah. You might have seen each other around.
Would it help if I use my experience as a nomadic busker,
Sure.
as someone who's fairly well traveled? I've been on and off ships all my life. So
You'd at least be familiar with the type of guy.
Right, that, and at least I was thinking maybe he would know me as someone who's like, I'm not the captain of the ship. I was thinking, there's actually these gentlemen that are below deck. They brought some fairly large boxes that they're not willing to part with because they are the owners of this ship. They won't claim captaincy because they're trying to stay discreet, but that's no longer our problem. We're here now. The people you're searching for, the so-called captain, those are responsible for the goods on board and the paperwork, they're below deck. I promise you, if you approach trying to see what they have in the boxes, he'll tell you it's all his.
All right then. And then he's like, all right, everybody, you good to join. Talk to my associate, and his associate's there trying to take names, control travel, see who's coming in and out of the island. And people get there and they start giving names, and people start pushing by, and then he's like, hey, get back here! No, hey, you stop! You can't. And people are just ignoring just the push of bodies, all pushing through here. He's like, dude, damn refugees! And you see the other captain disappear into the basement. But you guys are free to do as you like.
I think we go with the crowd.
I know we're not hiding anything nefarious, but are we giving our real names to these people?
I'm just gonna try to push past.
Yep. Kyo lowers his hood a little bit. Yep.
Bob, the ticket, you don't need the ticket.
He starts to fidget and shake it a little bit, but it's punched.
I want to
Kyo puts his hand. And at the same time, buddy, it's okay.
Yeah, and as we do that, I want to get behind Sal, who is large, and kind of get past him through the guard.
Yeah.
Is Sal moving along pretty well?
Yeah. When people start getting off, Popple.
When you come in,
How did I go for Sal and say
Papa?
Popple?
Oh.
I don't know how that even happens. There's not even a similarity.
That's Big Poppy. That's Big Poppy.
Yeah,
Sal.
Yeah.
Big Papa
Sal.
Shale.
I think I tried to say Sal and then Waddle and then accidentally said P, so it just became Popple. Anyways, Sal climbs up and starts to get on the gangway, and he's just walking. Oh, sorry. Hey. Ooh. Oh, yep, that's my foot again. Thank you, sir. And he stops at the customs officer. Hello. Yep. My name's Sal Underborough. Oh, no, I'm not on the list, sir. No, I didn't mean to take this ship at all, but on account of my island fell with all my livelihood and everything I've ever amassed as a human being. But I got this, and he yeah, I got this gold, a handful of gold if, you could have it. And the guard's like, I don't need your gold. It's Sal Underborough. And he writes his name, go on, welcome to Orden's Peak. And he jazz hands and lets him go. Oh, alright, thanks. And then he squeezes past.
As he was talking to the guard, go by.
Sure. I think the guard, as he's talking to the guard, you'll squeeze by and he'll begin to look at you and hey, hold on, wait. And but Sal's yeah, because every single thing that I ever lost, I mean, it's all in that tavern, and it's all I had, and Turtle's love, it was great.
Sounds clutch as hell.
He's yeah, and I got stuck in the door, and they had to grease me up. Yeah, it felt really bad.
While Tara's kind of pulling me, and Pio is pushing me, I'm holding out my ticket. Trying to give it to him.
Pio has one hand on Bob's back and is occasionally seeing his hand trying to knock it down.
I I imagine that for some reason, you doing that, him pushing your back, and me like holding your tongue, just like over.
Yeah, but you guys, with Sal just being chatty to the guard's like, come on, man, keep it moving, come on. And Sal finally moves. You see him as you now enter a courtyard. The courtyard at the edge of the Orton's Peak Skyyard is pretty much nothing. It is essentially a large open space so that people can unload goods, get wagons in and out. But it's kind of a road that leads into town, and you see in front of you a bunch of modest homes, some 2 or 3 stories tall, with kind of tar slated roofs, very narrow. So the road leading to town kind of reaches there and reaches a circle, but then all the streets off are kind of narrow and shady as people intersperse into all of these into these places. And you see Sal just kind of walks into an alley and goes looking.
I don't have any place to go, but do you mind if I stick around with you guys for what business do you have here?
Bob, there's a little light in his eyes that just like shine. And then he gets this little grin on his face. And he gets in like kind of like excited. I'm going to the Weasley's oddity shop.
The Weasley's oddity shop?
Yes.
Where are you looking to get there?
Oh no, I'm not buying anything. I'm going to sell
You're a merchant.
and see if they have any leads on the thrice golden peach.
What the hell did you just say to me?
The thrice golden peach.
They sell golden peaches down at the market.
No. At the market, there are only one's golden ones. I'm looking for a right golden peach.
He does not care for once the golden peaches.
What about what about twice golden peach? Is that a thing?
They're rare, but he just kind of like shrivels. Like, but that's not the rice. He holds up his like his 3.
Qatar, what you said your name was Yvonne, right?
That's correct.
You're very good at what you do. It wouldn't mind having someone around with a. I mean this in the nicest way, but a mouth like yours. Pretty persuasive.
My tail kind of goes on alert.
I didn't mean that in a sexual way either.
He does like the ditty.
He does like the
I'll
ditty.
try.
It was a good ditty though.
I'll try my best to take that as a compliment. I'm quite familiar with the city.
Okay, good. Well, Bob, let's go find you a 3 golden peach.
Thrice.
Thrice golden peach. I look over at Pio like, do you have any idea what this guy is talking about?
I've been watching Tara go through this, just like sort of with a grin on my face, because at one point I had to hear about all this for the first time. I've been known about this thrice golden peach for a minute, but seeing someone hear about it for the first time and just, what the hell are you saying to me? Like, he's serious, and if it's once, he hates it.
Okay. You lead the way to the Wesley's shop.
As you guys like kind of walk, kind of leaving the Skyyard, you do know that it's dark, and you see what you didn't see as much because you were distracted with the customs officer, but you start seeing large men, huge shoulders, kind of walking, maces and different weaponry at their belt, like in plate armor, kind of bearing what you would all know as the Orden's signet. It mints every coin in the Stratos Isles. You would see that they have the insignia of Orden on their armor, and as people are mulling about, they're like, refugees, if you're going to be in Orden's Peak, you gotta work. Tomorrow, we'll have a job board posted. Come and find something to do. There's not a lot of food to go around. Everybody works for their keep, okay? And another thing, curfew. And he's just repeating over and over again. Like, everybody, job board tomorrow. There's a curfew. Don't stay out too late. And the sun is getting low, but you probably still have a little bit of time in the day to look around a little bit if you want, or to find somewhere to be.
Bob looks at his sundial watch and he like taps it. This thing always breaks. Yo, what time? Yo,
Yeah.
tell me the time.
Pio, like right behind his like seemingly broken compass he has as a necklace, is a functional like watch, and just it's right this time at least. Clicks it and puts it back.
I've never been to Orden's Peak before. Vaughn, you said you travel a lot. Do you have a place we might be able to stay tonight?
I have somewhere in mind. We go into the Wesley shop first.
Bob looks at the sun, looks at his sundial. I believe they're closed.
Okay.
And he looks down at his feet.
Well, to the
Thought I
tavern.
wasn't paying attention.
To the ending.
Yvonne, you all start following them. They lead you kind of into town, and at first you're kind of wandering through a few alleys. You know, nothing special, feels regular. You pass by what looks like a market that would normally be bustling, but it's vacant. You see a large wooden platform and ropes leading up into the sky, up to where you saw kind of more wealthy homes. But Yvonne takes you down a side street that gets kind of darker, and you can see the quality of the houses diminishing and diminishing as you get to kind of the other edge of Orden's Peak, furthest from the sky yard. And there are kind of, if you know how to get there, it's easy. If you don't, you don't. But Yvonne opens a side door, and there's a passage down that winds and winds inside the damp earth, and then you come out. And it's like you see a door, a wooden door, brass knob. You feel the kind of the walls, stone walls sweating inside the island. And Yvonne takes the handle and turns it. And as soon as she cracks the door, it's like a blast of light and life. Where up above, it's getting dark. People are heading into homes and shuffling where they can to avoid notice. Downstairs, underneath the earth, hanging off the bottom of the island, you take a step onto wooden beams that creak and shudder. Wind is rifling through all of the homes, and you realize that you're on a long row with kind of barriers in between that you can see down through the barriers into the mist between the cracks. And you see, lit by torches, there is kind of a central hub of people serving drinks and food, and a big long lines as there are dozens and dozens of refugees lined up looking for a bit of bread. And all along are tiny hovels, little shops. But at the end, you see what looks to be extra lit, and kind of, there's no line as there are people outside kind of shooing people away, but a wooden building that seems inviting, and it just says simply Cat Cafe in faded paint.
Are you taking us to a Neku cafe?
What of it?
Curious.
I think as we get further from the higher class society of Orden's Peak, I definitely start to lose the tension in my shoulder and relax a little bit. Just it's a trick to get here. How'd you find this place?
Lots of wandering. Lots of missed turns.
Well, misturns are still directions.
Right after you say that, you guys are kind of walking closer to the cafe. You kind of stop, looking up at the sign, and then immediately, Yvonne, you are spun around, and standing there, a gorgeous woman. A gorgeous woman wearing a wonderful, floor-length dress, decked out in multiple gold earrings up the ear, all sorts of jewelry, rings, and everything. Yvonne! Oh my god! Kiss on the cheek, and a big hug. And that's where we'll end our session.